From Buffalo Wild Wings, this is the Jeff Fisher Show, brought to you by Super Park and Bud Light.
Buffalo rushes 4. Sam steps up, throws to the end zone. Gibson makes the catch! Touchdown, Brandon Gibson! Number 11 has had a terrific second half after a quiet first half. That capped an 84-yard, 14-play drive, and the Rams come from behind and beat the Buffalo Bills on the road. Third straight win.
I'm going to tell you what, I mean, you people watch the game when we're on the road, you need to turn the sound off and turn the radio on.
How about that? I'll tell you what, Jeff, honestly, guy, we were having a blast in that booth. And, we've learned. This thing ain't over. This thing ain't over until the final gun goes. But, and we'll talk about all aspects of the game, but that's a hell of a drive.
Yeah,
and the way it unfolded, you had 5 second and 10s.
Yeah.
So first down was tough.
Yeah.
You had a few 3rd and 10s, and then you had the big 4th and 1 situation. You convert all of them.
Yeah, when we started, we had 2 timeouts and we had the 2-minute warning, figuring, okay, if for some reason we don't convert a 3rd down here, it's a 2-possession game at that point. And then we started inching our way out of there, and once we got to about 3 minutes, I got on the phone and said, this is it now. Okay, we're not going to get it back, so we got to go get a touchdown.
Touchdown or bust.
Yeah.
But so many guys performed well in that drive. First of all, the protection was good.
Yeah.
Sam was cool as a cucumber in that pocket.
Yeah.
Austin Pettis first of all, Kendricks makes a great catch.
Yeah, that's a great throw too. That window is so small, and timing-wise, that was a perfect throw. And guys are making contested catches, which you have to, and it's just you're not just going to always have guys wide open, So, Sam put the ball where he needed to put it. In a lot of those instances.
Sometimes you got to fight for it. I agree. I was talking to Steve about this, and I think first of all, I don't think people are giving Buffalo enough credit on defense. They're pretty good in the front four. They get after you.
Front seven's good. Yeah, and the rookie corner, he's a good football player.
So here's the question. You had 3 drives, I think, that were over 10 plays, right? I believe, including the scoring drive. Before that, it was tough sledding. I could be off on those numbers. Tough sledding. How much of that was Buffalo being good on defense, and how much of that was offensive execution?
Well, it was Buffalo good on defense, and they were fitting the runs good early. We couldn't get much in the run game going, and then we were struggling on 3rd down. We had a handful of 3-and-outs, and that's what our defense did too. Our defense had 5 3-and-outs and 1 4-and-out. So, you got a sense. We felt like we're going to need points. I felt like we were not going to win this game with 17 points going in, particularly because of the explosiveness of their run game. Mm-hmm. And then, you go into halftime and it's 6-0. And you feel, okay, well, this one's going to be, we can either break this open here or this thing's going to be tight. Obviously, we wanted to break it open. We had 11-play, 12-play drives start the 3rd quarter for points, and felt like, okay, we need to do that again. And then they answer and go right down and go up 13-6. At that point, now you're managing the game to try to put yourself in position to get that last score.
You mentioned fitting the run for fans that may not understand what you're talking about there. Can you explain that?
Well, they're big up front, and you got guys, they're well coached, and they're always on the right side of the block, and they anticipate. So you've got a guard maybe trying to cut off a shade, and the shade just pushes the guard into the backfield, gets penetration, and now we've got a bounce, so the back gets pushed off course. And so that's where – but the good thing about what we did was we stayed with the run. Mm-hmm. I think we had 27, 28 carries, something like that. So we stayed with the run, and even though it's a difficult team to run against.
It's almost as if your team now believes if you stay close, you'll pull it out and you win.
Well, that's what we're hoping for. I think that's any team that is going to be good in the future. You have to start there. You got to, doesn't matter what happened. I mean, 15 behind at Washington, we come back and win that one. So there's always a chance and always opportunity as long as you just keep playing. That's what they did. Did I talk about the 1 second before halftime up in Buffalo? Did I share that with you guys?
No.
Okay. Yeah, the last time I was at Buffalo, we had scored a touchdown. And for some reason, the play clock operator left a second left on the game clock. So we score a touchdown. Now we're going to kick off. Okay, 1 second before half. Coach's staff's coming down, and we're going to go in. We got a lead and everything. They got a field goal with 1 second before half. Strange things happen up there. Let me tell you what. How does that happen?
I don't know. I think it happened.
Our kicker kicks the kickoff out of bounds. Put the ball in the 40. So now they got 1 second. Now they're going to Hail Mary. Okay, well, they didn't call offensive pass interference. We let them catch it, and they caught the ball at 25-yard line. The half's over, Okay, we roughed the passer. So, when you talk about time and time left in games and things like that, I mean, anything can happen. And it was a great example yesterday of guys just, hey, this is it. We got the ball. There's nothing wrong with us having the ball last. Let's just go down and get a touchdown. 2-point conversion was huge because I'd take then we can all take a deep breath there.
Yes.
Because you got 2 timeouts and field goal. That's and then we let them throw that tight throw into Graham, the tight end there, and but the sack was huge. Sack cost them the last time out, and game was over.
And what was great is that you got sacks from not the quote usual suspects. These sacks now in the last couple weeks are coming from all over your roster on defense.
Right.
And so and that was the case again yesterday. Let me go back to 2-point conversions. First of all, 2 for 2 in the red zone, which pleases the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Improvement there. But for a team that is still finding its way in the red zone all year long, okay, and your numbers aren't where you're supposed to be, you've been remarkably good and efficient on 2-point conversions. You're now 4 for 5, 80%. Mm-hmm. What's the key? What can you attribute that to?
Well,
good play calling there?
It's play calling. It's execution. It's the fact that we can run the football down there a little bit. And, it's been Sam's accuracy, really. I mean, he's putting the ball where he needs to put it. So we have to get creative. We're running out of 2-point plays, but that was a huge.
Well, even last week though, you got pushed back to the 7.
Yeah,
you ran the drag with Kendricks. He gets in and executed very well. Was weather a factor in your mind at all yesterday?
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was guys adjusted. It actually felt like it warmed up a little bit right around game time. Then when it started to get wet, clearly it's a factor. When from a ball handling standpoint, some of the balls sailed a little bit, and for both quarterbacks. And then of course the punt, that thing was interesting to say the least. But and then of course they muff a extra point. So it was a little wet and windy a little bit, but the temperature did not affect the guys.
I'm just glad Hacker didn't get hurt on that one.
Yeah,
I mean, he picked it up, he fielded it, and tried to punt it under a rush and took a big hit afterwards.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Thank God he's that athletic because that's a 20-yard difference.
Yeah, it is. And
I mean, he gets it back to the 50 for no gain, but otherwise it's at the 30. They're already in field goal range.
Yeah, but guess what?
What?
That ball came back. It didn't make the line of scrimmage. It was short of the original line of scrimmage.
Right.
We can advance that ball.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
That's a live ball.
It's a live ball.
It's a live ball.
It's like a block or a fumble. Or a kick that doesn't make the line of scrimmage becomes a live ball.
All 32 teams are talking about that right now.
No, it's one of those rare, unique things that you don't. It's my fault. It's one of those things that you don't think.
You don't
cover
anticipate.
Every scenario. I mean, who's going to think that you're going to muff the snap, run back, and kick it, get killed, and then have the ball land just short of the line of scrimmage and not because our guys stood around it. They got away. We stood around it. We picked it up, gave it to the official. Said scoop it and go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was just amazed he got it off because you end up giving no points on that. And like I said, if he had been trapped at the 30, not got it off, then they're already in field goal range.
Yeah, it's
at
a
that
different
point.
deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
What in the world got into Brandon Gibson?
He's been doing that on the practice field. He's been doing that. How about his catch at Miami?
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, that was one of the top 10 catches of the year, no doubt. But he's, sometimes the ball's not always going to be perfect because Sam's under pressure or something like that. But yeah, he's making catches. He's got really good out of frame for a guy that's not. I mean, you look at Brandon, you go, okay, what's he, 6 foot?
Yeah.
He catches balls like he's 6'4".
Right.
He's got great concentration and really good out of frame. Meaning, he can go up and make that play. But that Austin Pettis catch was one that will go down at least in this year as one of the biggest catches.
Huge.
Good night.
Besides the catch, he caught everything thrown to him.
Yeah.
Impressive player.
You want to take some phone calls? You ready for some phone calls, Jeff?
Yep.
All right, let's head out to New Jersey and welcome in David. David, you're on with Jeff Fisher. Welcome.
Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Was able to come out with my son for the game last week and see you beat the Niners, which was just fantastic. And just want to thank you for bringing the team back. A lot of respect back to the team now. It's being a lifelong Rams fan. It's just been awesome and great to follow you this year.
Thank you.
I did have a question for you. I watch every week. We sit here and watch in Jersey, and I'm watching, and just from a philosophical standpoint on your defense, not understanding all about the defense, but when I watch our cornerbacks and we seem to be off the line, not bumping the guys, where it seems like other teams do that to us, and it seems like you have the guys that can do that. What's the philosophy of giving 5, 6, 7 yards off the line of scrimmage?
Well, when you see them, anywhere from 7 to 8 to 10, then we're in something other than a man concept, a zone match concept, or we're doing some kind of pressure. We did a lot of 5-man pressures against this team to fill up the rush lanes. We did that also against San Francisco because of the quarterback scrambling ability. So they do have the ability. They can press. We're gonna work an awful lot on those issues and those techniques during the off season. So this could be more of a mainstay for our defense.
We appreciate David calling in from New Jersey. Let's take one more call before the break, and we welcome in Nate from St. Louis. Nate, you're on with Jeff Fisher. Good evening.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Coach. And I know you guys were just talking about how great the receivers were doing last game, and I just wanted to look ahead a little bit and ask you what you were planning to do for the draft. Were you looking to still draft some? Were you looking to draft some receivers? Were you looking to draft some linemen or more defense? Or if you can tell me that, what's the plan?
Well, obviously, I've not gotten started in that area. Les and the staff are working very hard at that right now, evaluating players. It's not something I'm really prepared to talk about, but when it comes closer, I assure you that we're going to it's going to be hard pressed to match this year's draft, but we're going to work hard at it, and we're going to draft very well here over the next few years.
And of course, after you make the playoffs this year, you'll be drafting lower than a lot of teams anyway.
Yeah, so. And like again, my buddy Mike Shanahan, here he goes again.
Wins another one. They pulled one out with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, they did. Wow.
Hey, Tim and Chris, please stay on the line. We want to get to your calls when we come back. We're going to take a quick break in a moment, but I want to tell you about an opportunity this weekend. The Minnesota Vikings are in town, and there are some tickets available. The Rams are offering a holiday pack. It's 2 tickets, 2 hot dogs, and 1 Christmas ornament. 2 tickets, 2 hot dogs, 1 Christmas ornament, all for just $98. You can get more information. You can buy the tickets at 314-RAMS-TIX, T-I-X, 314-RAMS-TIX. We'll take more phone calls when we come back. This is the Jeff Fisher Show, brought to you by Super Park and by Buffalo Wild Wings on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams radio network.
Hey. Who's that?
Oh, that's Rob.
When I lived in this apartment, the 49ers won the Super Bowl. I used to watch every game from this exact spot. This exact spot. I didn't know what else to do. This is my lucky seat, man. The team needs me, man.
Bud Light, for the fans who do whatever it takes.
Bradford will pass, throws short, caught by Pettis, made a great catch. The ball was behind him, and Pettis hauled it in at the 28. Part of that go-ahead touchdown drive by the Rams at Buffalo. 3 in a row now by the Rams. 6-1 Minnesota Vikings coming to town this weekend. We're with Jeff Fisher here, as we are every Monday night at Buffalo Wild Wings in Creve Coeur. And, Jeff, only 4 penalties combined in the game. Was it really that clean, or did this crew just put them away?
It was clean. There were no false starts or defensive offsides or anything like that.
That's amazing in this day and age.
Yeah, that was good. It's nice for us to emphasize that and then go into a game and then actually execute that part. We had 2. Courts was one. He kind of got the guy up under the chin at the end. They were kind of cat fighting, And so that was that, and then Jenks had one. But typically the ones that frustrate you are the ones we talk about that have nothing to do with the play.
Right.
You know, it's the thing after, the thing before, play starts before the snap. So it was good. Yeah, it'll help us in overall numbers. Less for you guys to criticize us.
No, come on. Well, help us with that. When people were talking about penalties and the Rams they get penalized a lot, they tried to make it seem like you don't care about penalties.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not. I mean, believe me, it's a huge thing. We don't practice penalties. We don't allow them to practice penalties. And so, but, you know, unfortunately, they're part of the game. And, again, over the weeks here, I've had to, you know, basically bite my lip and say I disagreed with, maybe half of them, you know. I mean, I didn't see the play. I hadn't gone back to look at the TV tape yet, but I've been told that Sam got hit in the face pretty significantly yesterday, and Mike Martz and Ron Pitts were making a big deal over it, and it wasn't called. You know, so you've got that and compared to what was called against us last week on the Robert Quinn thing. Right. You know, and so, but anyway, they'll end up. You know, as long as what we like to do, and it's I've done the study for years, but you know, teams that typically keep their penalty numbers around 90 to 95 are usually those playoff teams. You know, it's hard to find a playoff team that's going to have penalty numbers up in the 110 to 115 to 120 range.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Welcome in Tim from St. Peter's. Good evening, Tim. You're on with Jeff Fisher.
Thank you, Steve. DeMarco, Coach, thanks for taking my call. It was a heck of a game yesterday. I think all my neighbors could hear me enjoying it. I just want to ask, the catches that Lance and Austin and Brandon made were all great catches, and ones that seemed like they wouldn't make earlier in the season. What have they been doing to get better at making those tough catches like that, and how do they get better so they can help Sam make big plays and continue drives? Thank you, and I'm going to hang up and listen now.
Well, I mentioned earlier, you know, early in the season, the catch that we made, that Brandon made on the sideline, that 2-minute drive, was outstanding. So we've made some tough catches. I think because of the actual timing of the game and the last drive and the fact that we needed a touchdown, I think those catches are magnified now. But I mean, the guys have made some catches. I mean, Chris Gibbons' layout catch, you know, at Arizona, or Danny's, you know, a couple of Danny's catches that he's made, just lay out, extend catches, one-handed catches. So guys have been catching the ball fairly consistently for us, which is good.
Well, that final drive, really, Sam didn't have any choice. He had to fit it into small windows. He had to try to make something happen. I mean, those are, in the first quarter, some of those throws he probably doesn't, with the coverage, probably doesn't make.
He throws them away.
Yeah,
he just throws them away because he's not going to take a chance. But in this case, he had to. He
had no chance. He had no choice, and thank God he was on the money.
Yeah.
Let's welcome in Chris. He's been waiting patiently. Chris, you're on with Jeff Fisher. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Steve Farr, big fan. Listen to you on the Fast Lane every day.
Thanks.
Got a question, though. What's with the wrestling? You kind of over the top with the wrestling, but that's no big deal.
Is that for me or Coach?
That's for you.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Sorry. But, Coach, I appreciate all you've done for the team. I mean, you've taken a team that's won 2 games, probably over the last 3 seasons where they actually won the game, but you've taken practically the same players, and you've turned this team around. I don't think you guys get enough props for the coaching that you've been doing, and that's all I want to call and say. Thanks for you coming in and turning our team around.
Well, thank you. It's been fun so far. We got a lot of work ahead of us. You know, obviously, we have a huge challenge this week. I got to be a coach now. Huge challenge.
Is that accurate though? Because I saw something the other day. It was the 2011 training camp bio. By my count, I think there's only 19 guys left from that training camp. It's not the same football team. It's almost completely different.
Well, I was told that there are 24 guys off last year's opening day roster that are not in the NFL. So yeah, it's a different team. Yeah, we got an influx of young players and draft choices and free agents, and you know, and the thing that we were talking about this last week, the thing that's fun to see from a coaching standpoint, it's fun to see the guys, the second-year players that were drafted here last year, and even the third-year players, see them improve. You know, because we feel like our team's much better right now than we were when we started. Obviously, training camp or OTAs, this team has gotten better. but we could still get better. And that's the thing we talk about all the time is, players make their biggest improvement from year 1 to year 2. Well, we have a really solid rookie class here that's been contributing in year 1. They're going to only get better as we move forward.
You don't sweat the age thing, though. You made no bones about it. I'm not going to worry about we're young or we're this, we're that. We drafted these guys for a reason. They're going to play. Well, not every coach would come into this situation.
Yeah, but I think so. Therein lies the credit to the coaching staff because they coach them. I mean, this group of coaches has no problem coaching young players. So on occasion, you'll come across a coach that just can't play a rookie, can't coach him, he's going to hurt you, These guys know. Let's coach them up and get them out there, and they do a great job in each and every individual position room.
What we're seeing from Michael Brockers last 2 weeks, this is what you envisioned back in April, wasn't it? When you traded down and drafted.
That's right. That's exactly right.
He's ascending big time right now.
Yeah, he is. He's going to be we're surprised that he fell,
Right.
Couldn't believe he would fall. And so he's probably as productive or probably more productive than some of those other guys that were taken ahead of him.
Wow. You don't have to get an edge on the guy if you can just pick him up and walk him backwards.
Yeah, that's right. With one hand.
Yeah.
All right, let's welcome in Stefan. Stefan, you're on with Jeff Fisher. Welcome.
Hey, Coach Jeff Fisher. I just want to say congratulations on the win and thank you for that win. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm coming up to the game on Sunday for my cousin's birthday, and I will be cheering y'all on against Adrian Peterson, the Vikings, and we will win that game.
Well,
and I just like your attitude about not focusing on the win, but focusing on the next win, because I haven't seen that from any of our other coaches for real. You're the best. Thank you. I just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you. Come on up and make some noise.
I think that is interesting. We were talking about that earlier. You, right after the game, we were talking to you on the interview. One of the first things you mentioned was Minnesota. We talked to Steven Jackson today at 4 o'clock on the fast lane. One of the first things he mentioned, Minnesota. Win was nice. We got one on the road. What's next? And he's right. We haven't heard that in a few years.
That's to me, that's the only way you can approach it. The Sunday, yesterday, was a culmination of a lot of hard work that took place last week. Okay? And it was over when the game was over. Now we have to start over and work on the next opponent. That's the challenge. And that's what I think these guys are starting to understand is, you can't feel good or bad either way. You have to move on.
It's the same with the flip side when you lose.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to keep it in perspective.
All right, Stefan says he'll be there at the Edward Jones Dome. If you'd like to be there, don't have tickets yet. There are tickets available. The Rams are offering, in fact, a holiday pack this week comprised of 2 tickets, 2 hot dogs, and 1 Christmas ornament for $98. Call 314-RAMS-TIX, 314-RAMS-TIX. Back with more in a moment on the Jeff Fisher Show, brought to you by Super Park and by Buffalo Wild Wings on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams Radio Network.
Hey. Who's that?
Oh, that's Rob.
When I lived in this apartment, the 49ers won the Super Bowl. I used to watch every game from this exact spot. This exact spot. I didn't know what else to do. This is my lucky seat, man. The team needs me, man.
Bud Light, for the fans who do whatever it takes.
To give us to Jackson behind the lead block. He's in. Touchdown, St. Louis Rams. Steven Jackson fights his way in. And Greg Zuerlein can give the Rams their first lead of the afternoon with 8:37 to play in quarter number 3.
Steven Jackson running right off tackle. Just ran right in the end zone. Took about 3 guys with him.
Steven Jackson with a touchdown in yesterday's comfort behind win at Buffalo. And we are with Jeff Fisher, as we are every Monday night. Buffalo Wild Wings here in Creve Coeur. And we're going to turn the microphone over to Leslie, who has a question or comment for the head coach. Leslie, you're on.
Hi, Coach Fisher. I'm Leslie. And I just wanted to say that it seems like every week you continue to improve. Like, I've noticed how you've gone from so many false starts and penalties, like from, say, a couple prior weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And yesterday, you keep cutting down on those. And so it just seems like every week you continue to do that. But I was wondering, are you going to get back to some of I love the balls he plays on the 4th and 1, and like that fake punt. But are you going to do some more of the tricks?
Yeah, we have. Well, as people know around the league, we're going to carry those things in, and we'll take advantage of them when given the opportunity. You can't. Yesterday in the game, obviously there was a couple situations there where they were considered, but in the game, the field position game like that, you got to be very selective. But we carry them in every week. So, as a matter of fact, they kept their defense on the field on one of our last punts, and their safety Wilson had the whole defense, and he was showing them. He literally, with his hand signal, showed them a couple of our fakes. And they were pointing around, and I stood there and waved at him. He shook his head at me, and so yeah, they were very, very nervous about it. Which is good, because what happens is, we go up and we go in this game, and we're playing arguably one of the top teams in punt return and kickoff return with McElvin, and we go down and we make tackles because we got single press outside because they are so fearful of our fakes. So our fakes have actually opened up another part of our game for us, which was very important in this game. And I have to take this opportunity to credit our group of special teams players, because that's a very well coached group of special teams, and we matched them toe-to-toe yesterday, and we battled them well and came out on top.
You made your bones doing that once upon a time in the NFL.
Yeah.
You take a lot of pride in doing
that.
Yeah,
because I like that stuff, yeah. Matchups.
Do you ever like special teams?
No.
You were you're part of the wedge, though.
Man.
You had to run.
I didn't do I didn't do kickoff. The first time I did it was in the NFL. Yeah. And after the first one, I saw a guy get his jaw broken. I said, I got to get off this unit today. Last time I want to see this.
What'd you do to get off?
Remember Dexter
Get a sack.
Manley? Dexter Manley?
Yeah.
Dexter Manley in my rookie year was a gunner.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Yeah. That should be illegal.
So were you singled up on him? Did you have help?
I woke up in the fourth
quarter. Oh, no, you were returning the punt.
Yes, I'm returning. Yeah.
Wow. Again, did you have single coverage or did you have double?
We had two little guys double. He swatted them off. I was trying to get away, and I didn't.
You're giving away a little size on that collision, weren't you?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Dexter Manley's a defensive end.
With the Washington
6'6", is about 300 pounds, ran about 4.55.
And he's a gunner on the punt. That ain't fair.
A little man's position. Yeah.
Leslie, thank you for your question. We appreciate it, Leslie. Let's go back to the phone lines and welcome in Mark from O'Fallon. Mark, you're on with Jeff Fisher. Good evening.
Hey, Coach. How you doing tonight?
Good, Mark.
Hey, I agree with all the previous callers. You're doing a great job here in St. Louis, and we really do appreciate it. I had a question about the snap that Hecker muffed, and then he kicked it, and he got ran into. Is that considered roughing the kicker?
No. Well, the punter loses protection when the ball hits the ground. Okay. When the ball hits the ground, he loses protection. So, and that was an effort to make a tackle. So, no, and the ball, I mean, it was not an errant snap. I mean, it was face high. It just went through his hands. He might have taken his eye off a little bit, or maybe turned a little bit. And he's a young punter, and he's going to have to learn from it. I mean, remember, he dropped his first punt against Detroit. His first punt in a regular season game, he dropped it against Detroit and got it off.
Right.
We should have been called for men downfield, but officials didn't see it.
Thank you, Mark. We welcome in Charles next. Charles, your question or comment for Jeff Fisher?
I just wanted to say thanks to the coach for the job he's doing so far. And then I wanted to ask, as a Rams fan, it might be too early to talk about, but I think Steven Jackson, he's been showing some heart this year, and I think he's been playing, better maybe than he ever has. And I was just wondering what the team's going to try and do to maybe be able to keep him for seasons to come. At least I think a lot of fans would like to, see him still be able to be here next year.
No, I appreciate the call. That's what we've said too. We would like for Jack to be able to finish his career here. And I'll tell you one thing about Jack right now. He's a great team player, but you look at his eyes and he's having fun. He's just having a blast right now, and so that's rewarding from our standpoint to see somebody that's paid his dues and made such a tremendous commitment to not only this organization on the field but off the field, to be finally see some hope.
Sure.
So we'd love for him to have a chance to finish.
He's loving it.
I was just going to ask you. You bring up the running backs, and we kind of danced around it. Minnesota's coming. and with Minnesota comes Adrian Peterson. You've been in the league a long time, been involved in football a long time. Where does this guy rate in your opinion? He is tremendous. I said this earlier. If you peeled away his skin and you find out that it's underneath his metal, I wouldn't be shocked. The guy is that good. How good is he to you?
He's really good. Only faced him once. And, we got up, and that's, he wasn't a factor. And that's what you have to do, because, what he did to the Bears yesterday, to some really good defensive players and some good tacklers, it's scary. I heard someone say he's running possessed right now, and he is. It's amazing to watch him.
He started the season, I think it was just 8 months after ACL surgery.
That's the most incredible thing. I mentioned this earlier. It's such a great accomplishment for him, and for a good thing for the league to get a player back of his caliber back so quickly and have him playing at such a high level. That's a really good thing for the National Football League. Not necessarily a good thing for the Rams right now this weekend, but glad to see him back because he is really, really probably could, if he stays healthy, which he shows to be very durable through the rehab, he has a chance to be one of the all-time best to ever play this game.
Sure. All right, our next call comes from Hazelwood. Nick, welcome to the Jeff Fisher Show. Hey, Nick, you there? We'll hook up with Nick at a later date. Nick, can you hear me? All right, let's move on to Jeff, calling from St. Louis. Jeff, welcome.
Hi, I just wanted to thank Coach Fisher and also the crew over there. I listen to you guys all the time. It's been fantastic. Coach, you've made Rams football very, very exciting again. My question is, you definitely had one of the, at least in recent memory, best draft classes I can remember in my history of watching St. Louis football. But I was curious, is there any plan for the far future in kind of, I know you're a ground and pound coach, but maybe evolving the offense more into more of a team passing kind of offense with Sam Bradford as such a weapon, and maybe get Brian Quick up to speed and Chris Gibbons and Danny Amendola. Sounds like it's getting more and more receiving options to stretch downfield. Maybe one more really good draft class could the offense evolve into something more of a quarterback-driven type of offense. I appreciate that.
Well, ultimately, yes. We'd like to go out and score 35 points a week, but right now we're not necessarily equipped to do that. We hopefully we will be in a short period of time. I'll remind you when, one of the teams that's on Monday Night Football tonight is doing that, and they also are, at least when we played them, first in the league in rushing offense. So, you've got a team that can spread the ball around, and there's such a threat in the passing game that their running game ends up taking care of itself, and that's where ultimately you like to get to because, you have to have balance. And, we're trying to achieve balance. The one thing that's been good for us as of late is our defense, as we said earlier, against the run. We're it's not always easy to defend run week after week after week, and
right.
And fortunately for us, it was 21 carries, and this past week it was 17 carries by the backs. That gives your defense. Those are numbers you can handle, and you can load up and handle. So.
He mentioned Brian Quick. Nice play.
Nice play.
Good had a moment yesterday with good strength after the catch.
Yeah, he did.
Got everything he could there. And you said even a couple of weeks ago, you put more and more in. He's becoming a bigger part of your game plan, right?
Yes,
week after week.
Yeah, more plays, more snaps, and much more practice time. And hopefully that just keeps carrying over. That was a huge conversion for us in that drive.
Yeah, reached out and got the extra yard and got the first down at midfield. All right, let's go to Alton and welcome in Paul. Paul, you're on with Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, hi, Coach. I just want to ask you one question. I know Dahl's hurt for this next week. I don't know how serious it is. But have you ever thought about moving the corner Finnegan to safety, or maybe using one of your other rookies at corner if he can't go?
No, Court's Court on occasion. By the way, things end up, we'll end up at a safety position by alignment here and there. But no, Court's a corner, and he's a nickel back. He's very good at that. If for some reason Craig can't get through the week, then Stu will line up and play, and we'll be fine. He's a good player, good tackler, and Craig, by the way, is a really outstanding tackler. He can tackle, open field tackle.
In fact, in the first kickoff,
Yes.
He unloaded on McKelvin. He unloaded on McKelvin.
Yeah, he did. He likes that. So.
Yeah.
And didn't Stu have a knockout shot this year?
Against Arizona.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he's a hitter.
Yeah.
Speaking of injuries, I know you don't like getting into a lot of detail, but we tipped our hat to Roger Saffold because after the first time we weren't sure. After the second time he went off, he looked like he had the 89-year-old man walk where he's not going to stand up for 3 weeks, and then he's back in again.
First time he got a helmet in the low back, I think Jack tried to create a hole.
Friendly fire.
Yeah, friendly fire, exactly. Second time is probably something that no guy really likes to experience.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't necessarily the low back.
It was not the low back.
Lower region.
Lower region.
South of the Mason-Dixon.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
you know what, though?
Happens at times out there. They usually bounce back, and they don't get a lot of sympathy, nor did he. But, he came back.
But you got to love the fact that
Yeah.
he's a gamer,
offensive lineman.
Yep. And Wayne Hunter came in and played nicely.
Wayne did good. Yeah, Wayne comes in.
In fact, there was the scramble where Sam recognized Wayne shoves the D end in. Sam spins out, goes for a first down.
Yeah.
All right, we will come back and preview. Look ahead to the Minnesota Vikings matchup when we return on the Jeff Fisher Show, which is brought to you by Super Park and by Buffalo Wild Wings on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams Radio Network.
Hey. Who's that?
Oh, that's Rob.
When I lived in this apartment, the 49ers won the Super Bowl. I used to watch every game from this exact spot. This exact spot. I didn't know what else to do. This is my lucky seat, man. The team needs me, man.
Bud Light, for the fans who do whatever it takes.
Welcome back. Final segment. Final thoughts here from Jeff Fisher. We're going to turn him loose so he can go back and craft a game plan along with his coaches for the Minnesota Vikings. Jeff, looking ahead, what can we expect? What can fans expect from the Vikings and Rams in general terms?
Well, I mean, first off, if you thought the 49er game was physical, then, I mean, you're going to get a duplicate of that. It's going to be a brawl up front. We got to match up well with their defensive line. They got one of the better pass rushers in the game, and we're going to have to handle that. We're going to have to find a way to keep the ball. You know, when you're playing a really good quarterback, what you do is you keep him off the field by running the football and winning time of possession, so on and so forth. We're playing a really good running back. We're going to have to take that same approach just to keep Adrian Peterson off the field, if at all possible. And in the perfect world, which is, again, it's coach speak, but the perfect world is if you can get up to where they can't catch up by running it, then you make them one-dimensional, then you got a chance to handle that back. But that's basically just about the only way to take care of that running back.
And a short memory helps because this guy's going to pop one or two on you. You just got to wipe it out and move on.
You got to go. Yeah, you just got to come back and answer. Yep.
We're looking forward to it, Jeff. It's
likewise.
Sunday was fun. Thanks again. We appreciate it.
We'll keep it going. Thank you.
That's Jeff Fisher on the Jeff Fisher Show, and brought to you by Super Park, Buffalo Wild Wings on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in.